Hello, hi, and thank you very much again for choosing our channel over and above all the millions of other channels that you can choose from. And hello, I'm Yaku, I'm a goldsmith. I've been in the trade for many years, and what we're trying to do here is to introduce the world of a goldsmith to your screen. Anyway, today I have a tiny little pendant that I have to make. So this is the setup. I had a customer that called me and said, hey, can you make this particular pendant for me? And she sent an example over and she said, this is the pendant that this person that she's giving it to currently has, and she didn't want it to be too big. She wanted it a little fancier, and we were bringing the stones in, and she wanted the delicacy of the previous one. So we couldn't go too far off the mark. I do a very basic design for the customer, just a rough sketch with pencil, and I take basic proportions with my vernier and I relay that onto a piece of more sort of technical paper, a little block paper. And from the block you only need to draw one. I put it on tracing paper, and from the tracing paper I do a very detailed trace of the first and the second R overlapping each other. And from there I put a white background on the tracing paper. Simply take a photograph with my iPhone, airdrop it to my Mac, open it on Pages, and then from here I can manipulate the size and I get it to exactly, if I wanted 1.5 centimeters, I get it to 1.5 centimeters. So I'm taking the metal that I've got here, not a lot, and I'm preparing it, same principle as always. Cast it, roll it flat so that we can have our design flattened and pasted on top of it. 1.5 would be too thick for this. 1.2, yeah, it'll be good. I started with 1.1 because of the scale, the size, not necessary to go any bigger. Once the glue is dried, you take a scriber, and because it's such a fine little pendant, I'm going to pre-pierce it so that when I put the drill down on top of it, it's going to follow the hole that I've just made. I'm going to do this on every little space which needs to be removed, and these are actually the places I'm going to cut first. So once I've got the piercing of the actual shape out with the paper, I then burn that away, clean it up, and then I can really see where I can refine it. What I like using as a concept with the actual saw blade called filing. So you would actually file by taking your saw blade, say this is the straight line right there, taking your saw blade and tilting it slightly to the side and then moving very slowly. So you're not cutting. You're just catching the areas which are slightly off. We have the pendant finished right now. It's time to make the bail. Don't have to go too thick on your metal for the bail because you're not carrying a lot of weight. So I've decided I wanted to do a movable bail on this. Straight piece, I went with 1 millimeter of thick metal on that as well. You can just judge what you think would be fine. Bend it round, bring it to a point, solder it, cut through this point at the top here, bring it closer, cut through it again closer, and then adjust this bail that you have up to the point where it would be appropriate for the chain that you're going to be using. Now I'm comparing this to the actual pendant because visually before I'm finishing that V-loop, I want to make sure that the balance between the pendant and the bail is correct. So we want to shape it as well. I decided to do sort of like a heart shape, so a V shape on the inside, curve that out where the rounding at the top is. I round that as well for smooth access of your chain. So I spent a little bit of time on this, and it really pays off at the end. The next step is to connect the two parts together. I'll make a jump ring, which I pre-solder, obviously where I've opened it up. Let's say for instance your jump ring's over here and it's soldered over here. Just next to this, I would file it flat because I want to reopen that part to attach the V-loop. But at the same time, I want to share some of the solder that I've just used to solder it to also join back onto the to the top of the pendant. So I have created this O-ring. I've got the opening right here. I've got a flat piece right over there. I put that flat on top of the actual pendant and very gently add a bit of solder, which will also help draw some of the solder on the side. So we've got an O-ring that's stuck on top of the pendant with an opening on the side over here. That means I can bend that opening right like 90 degrees to bring the bail in and bend it right back. It's very fine soldering over here, so the suggestion is that you're working with a very hard solder when you're doing the first solder, and one that reacts quicker to heat so that you don't melt any of the solders involved to create one sort of a solid piece. Once the bail has been connected, it actually gives me a little bit more leverage. I can then use the pendant as something to hold and then refine whatever refinement I want to make onto the actual bale. So now I can really get in there for finalizing all the shaping, finalizing everything up to a pre-polish. I'm going to quickly phone the customer or I'll send a message. I like to keep customers involved in the whole process just to let them know that this is how far I am and these are the proportions from the design. So if there's anything that they notice that they don't agree with or they want me to change, then at this point we can change it. This is just before set work. The next thing we're going to do is cut the lines and put the stones in there. But let's send the customer a text quickly just to let them know that we're still on target with the time. Let me know what you think. This looks great, thank you very much, but the color, what about the color? Wasn't it supposed to be in white gold? Yes, it was supposed to be in white gold. I did now recall the entire conversation. Again, the whole process as I just showed you in yellow gold, in white gold. We're back, and now we can make the setting happen and also the engraving. So there we go, here's the final product. It's fun making these small cut-out jewelry pieces and taking such a small scale and giving it life. There's a lot of detail on the bale, there's a lot of detail on the cut work. It presents itself as a really fine, delicate piece, which is exactly what we wanted to go for. She was very happy. I'm yet to hear back from the customer's gift giving, but I'm sure that the recipient was very happy with this as well, because we put all the effort in that you need to put in to make these things work. Thanks for watching the channel. If you want to support us, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. Is it okay?
Do it again with arms.
Okay.
And say why.
Why?